The Vedelago Recycling Center carries out separation of waste in order to produce secondary raw materials from non-toxic waste coming from the sorting of items for recycling. The plan offers stockpiling areas for the incoming materials, while other areas are available for separated and treated materials. These materials are ready to be delivered to industries which reuse them in suitable production cycles, allowing to save on non-renewable raw materials. The activity of selection for the recovery of materials is developed through 3 specific production lines according to the different kinds of materials which are conferred. 1. Line for monoplastic, collection of plastic packaging. 2. Line for multi-materials, combined collection of plastic, glass and metal packaging. Also glass metal and plastic metal materials can be treated. 3. Selection line of plastic materials according to their colors and polymers. The incoming trucks are checked, weighed, and then directed to the unloading area for separation. The monoplastic flux, collection of plastic packaging, is collected by a worker through a power shovel and then charged in the hopper of the suitable selection line. The material is distributed from the hopper to a conveyor belt. Along it there are 4 posts where workers select by hand 3 different types of material. Polypropylene, boxes, pots, etc. Polyethylene, cans, plastic bags and films, and waste, inert stuff, electric sets, toys, textiles, etc. The material is carried on conveyor belts until it arrives to the ballistic screen. The multi-materials flux, combined collection of plastic, glass and metal packaging. Also glass metal and plastic metal materials can be treated at this stage, is collected by a worker through a power shovel and then charged in the hopper of the suitable selection line. The material is distributed from the hopper to a conveyor belt where workers select polypropylene, boxes, pots, etc., polyethylene, cans, plastic bags and films, and waste, inert stuff, electric sets, toys, textiles, etc. The clean material passes under a magnet which extracts the metallic fraction and discharges it in the cofferdam below. After that, a magnetic separator selects the non-ferrous metals like aluminum and discharges them in the cofferdam below. The plastic and glass fraction remains on the belt which, by means of an aerolic separator, divides glass from plastic according to their different specific weight and discharges glass in a cofferdam, while plastic is conveyed to the ballistic screen where it is put together with plastic coming from the non-glass line. All the selected plastic passes through the ballistic screen which subdivides it into 3 fractions. Subsieve, composed of small pieces of non-selected plastic which must be carried to the recycling treatment. Upsieve of flat bodies, which is composed of all flat and flexible plastic like envelopes, tubs, and polyethylene films. Retrievable polyethylene film is recovered from this fraction, while the remaining part of the materials is conveyed to the recycling treatment. Upsieve of hollow bodies, mainly constituted by bottles, which are carried by a belt elevator to the stockpile silo for the subsequent selection. When it comes out from the ballistic screen, the plastic material is conveyed on the push selection line in order to be subdivided according to its type and color. Plastic come from the conveyor belt to the manual selection platform, where workers pick up the single typologies which will be conveyed to the pressing station, where materials will be ready to be delivered. The selection of the materials during this phase is done with the utmost care by our workers in order to respect the quality standards imposed by the target market. The products we obtain are polyethylene film LD, polyethylene tiny bottles HD, PET bottles mixed color, PET blue tinted bottles, PET transparent bottles, fraction of subtle plasmix tape. It is a waste which will be recycled. Production line of densified plastic material from a mix of polyolefins. The retrievable plastic waste, coming from different fluxes, is taken by the stockpiling and deposited in the area for the preparing of material in mouth plant. The bales of a material are opened and mixed together in suitable doses in order to make the mixture which will be treated homogeneous. The material is charged by an elevator carriage on the hopper which distributes it on the selection belt. Here, a worker controls the materials and takes away unwelcome fractions like wood, paper, inert stuff, and textiles. At this stage, any rigid packaging eventually present in the mixture, like bottles, is recovered and becomes marketable. At a further stage, a magnet extracts the metallic fraction. The belt discharges the de-ironed material in the primary grinder, which reduces the material to a homogeneous size of about 50 millimeters. The grinded material is conveyed to a machinery which extracts the non-irony material, that is aluminum, and makes it marketable. The whole mass of the plastic waste, which has been grinded and cleaned, is carried to the densifier extruder. This machine operates a frictioning of the plastic mass inside the plastification chamber, allowing the melted plastic material to come out from the die. Inside the machinery, the damping factor produces a temperature up to 200 degrees, which makes the polymeric mass melt and thicken in a plastic casting which comes out of the die. This plastic casting is cooled and grinded in a mill which reduces the volume of the stuff to a size varying from 0 to 8 millimeters. This plastic granular is the final product of the regeneration treatment of plastic wastes. The granular is packed into sacks and stored for the subsequent delivery. This granular, which is in all respects a secondary raw material, is periodically analyzed to verify that its standards respect the specific UNI law. Use of secondary raw material. The application field of secondary raw material is wide, both in the building sector and in the area of plastic materials. Most of all, it is used to produce different kinds of plastic artifacts, such as park benches, garden tables, flower boxes, fences or palings, and street pavings.